Morning, it's Martin from Martin's Engine Services. Sitting on the bench in front of me, we have a MT75 gearbox from, we'll be going into a 94 Transit. This is actually out of 1999. These gearboxes were fitted between, I think, 1988 and 2000, 2001, when the old shape Transit ended production. Bit of a saga behind this one, and this will be a bit of a part two. How can you have part two of one? How about part one of two videos I'll be making about the gearbox problem? Backstory on the vehicle: customer bought it latter part of last year or middle part of last year, and gearbox in it was quite noisy. He had another good unit which I overhauled, new bearings, gaskets, and seals, and I fitted it in there along with a new clutch. All was okay. And no problem at all there, but the engine in the vehicle had done some miles and was smoking. So we purchased a low mileage unit from a later vehicle, only a couple of years difference, and we fitted that in some early part of this year. And at the same time, we fitted another new clutch. See, when I overhauled the gearbox originally, he fitted a new clutch, and then we subsequently fitted a new one just as a precaution because he was having some juddering issues with the previous one. So we changed the flywheel along with the engine and the clutch, and it all seemed okay. Now, a few weeks ago, clutch judder returned, and apparently from research found the make of clutch that we fitted, although very good quality ones, are prone to having issues of later with part quality. And so we thought, okay, he's had two of these clutches now, and his previous vehicles had the same make of clutch, which also juddered. So we thought, right, what we do this time, we'll get a completely different brand, a good brand that was recommended by several people in the world of transits. And at the same time, we had a flywheel remachined. So we put that out last weekend and put the new flywheel on, torqued it all up, put a new clutch on, put a new release bearing in the original gearbox, and put it all back together. However, upon the initial road test, we had a slight vibration coming through the vehicle. So a little bit of head scratching, and it turns out it was simply a case of somebody, namely me, had got the orientation of the prop shaft joints 180 degrees out. So, corrected that problem. Okay, all seems all right. But we have got a slight noise in fourth gear. So we disconnected the prop and ran the prop off and tinkered around and blah, blah, and thought, okay, bit of a mystery. We spent quite a bit of time the following day trying to investigate the noise and really didn't get any further. Subsequently, since he's been driving the vehicle sort of last few days, the noise in fourth gear has now escalated to third gear and to fifth, and it's basically a horrible sort of rattly, raunchy vibration running through the gearbox and through the vehicle. First and second are fine, and so is reverse. So we're now concluding that something in the gearbox that I overhauled has malfunctioned. So we're now about to fit tomorrow this gearbox, which came with his replacement engine, and it all seems in order. I drained out what's left of the oil, it was spotlessly clean. I believe this unit's done about 75,000 miles and was actually in a minibus, and has obviously had very little use. It's a nice clean gearbox. Well, I've cleaned it a little bit. I've been over the bits and pieces. There's hardly any play in here whatsoever. Now on his gearbox, it's still in the vehicle now, if you put it in any gear and then grab the output flange, you can move it probably 25-30 mil in either direction. There's a lot of slapping and clunking in the box. The nut on the back is torqued to the correct specification, because if this comes loose, the whole main shaft moves. This gearbox, when you put it in gear, has only about 1 to 2 mil free play in any gear. So we are presuming that something in the box overhauled has malfunctioned, so that will be a separate teardown video. On the bench here is the clutch that we took out, that came out the weekend. As you see, it's done absolutely no work at all, and in fact the writing is still on it here. I think he's done about 6,000 on this clutch. I know it gets driven very, very gently and quite friendly, so I know it's nothing to do with that. And you can see the pressure plate looks absolutely fine, but so you have had this problem with this make of clutch. I probably shouldn't mention the make, but possibly really. worked out who made it. But it is one of the more quality German brands. So he's had 3 of these now, and they have actually all juddered. So, potentially interesting saga, but we will find out probably later on tomorrow or maybe Friday exactly what's happened when I strip the gearbox down. It's possible something happened during assembly, but we don't really know. It's a bit of a mystery. So, fortunately, these aren't too difficult to change, nice straightforward, and shall we say I've got it down to fine art. Sitting on the engine stand will be is a Fiesta ST150 engine, which I'll be featuring in a video possibly Friday, maybe Sunday, which will be a teardown. It's quite an interesting one, and should be worth a watch. Anyhow, that's what's happening at the moment in the workshop. There's not been a lot happening otherwise this week, although I have had a big clear up this week and got rid of all my scrap metal and made a nice few pounds on Monday. So, I'll leave you the rear view of this delightful item sitting here, and I shall bring you back tomorrow or maybe Friday when I strip the other gearbox to find out what went wrong. I'm rather intrigued to know exactly what happened and try and figure out the issue. Anyhow, thanks for watching and bye for now.